Today I was observed in maths, so I thought I'd show you what my lesson was, what it entailed, and then let you know what my feedback was. So my lesson was all about using factors to divide, which is sort of a preface before we do our long division lessons. We always start with a tough 10. I highlight some questions for some of my SEN children who don't do as many or maybe aren't as strong with the arithmetic, and that's something we work on, and they work on with the TAs, so they did those. I then do these on the visualizer at the end so we can mark them. So I always have my camera and that shows up on my board. So we do them together. This I always find is really good for sort of highlighting presentation, modelling those examples, showing them how to do the working out and how to set it out in their book. My input is then usually a mix of questions. So obviously we did whiteboard ones to start here, had a discussion of what factors are. I use a combination of White Rose and Grammarsaurus. I do find Grammarsaurus questions and the PowerPoints are a bit clearer than some of the White Rose stuff, so I usually start with that, and they're really good at sort of teaching how to actually do the skill. And then White Rose obviously have great manipulatives and great visuals, so I like to throw some of those in. Lots of questions, lots of why and understanding the methods, which is the best way, which is the most efficient way. Whiteboard work, partner talk, table talk, reasoning, and then obviously we move on to some problem solving at the end. This one especially, it was quite an interesting one, which they liked. Then I use the White Rose questions to create my own sheet that the children then use. In our school, we use columns for our maths work, so they stick in their questions on the left and then do their working out on the right. So the White Rose questions do build upon the skills, starting with just some basic fluency, building up to some reasoning questions, and then on to some more difficult problem solving. Differentiation wise, most of my children get the same sheet. One that have that better understanding, they start later on, so they do some of the later questions on the sheet, and then I have some more challenging open-ended questions for them to attempt. The children that need support, we will use some different manipulatives, or they'll work with a TA. So I had 2 groups working with TAs today. I had one child using cubes to do some sharing, and then I did some floating. I do lots of verbal feedback, going around, doing lots of assessment as they're working, seeing who needs what. I then did some interventions in the afternoon, and at the end we marked them all together. So I went and got my feedback. It was really positive, really good. So I was really happy with that. They said they liked that during my input, I had different types of questions. I did lots of modelling. They spoke about how I obviously ask randomly sometimes. Sometimes I'll use hands up. Sometimes I will do partner talk, group talk, whiteboard work. Nice mix of things. They did make a few suggestions about potentially maybe some of the children do some stuff on the board, a bit of teaching other children. So I thought that was really good that I might use